So I was supposed to be doing my journal again. That's not happening. This time I wasn't overthinking. I wasn't overthinking. But I was like, I wanted to make this video and talk about it because I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, let's do that. So, like I said, like the last video, I wonder a lot. I like to wonder about many things. I overthink. That's the biggest thing. I like to overthink, sadly, you know. So when I read this, I forgot how this came to me, this verse, but I love the book of Ecclesiastes. Love it so much. The wisdom, the questioning and everything. Like, it's all meaningless. What's it for? You know, love it. And so I was like, it's the wondering that causes stagnation. And it's the pitfall to overthinking. You know what I'm saying? If we're on a path, right? Let me set the scene first before I get into the word. If we're on a path, like I said, just like in the last video, wondering takes us off our path. And if we're on a path, sometimes we can wonder about something and then we can just stop where we are and we forget to continue to move forward, right? That's stagnation. It's not being able to move forward. And that's what overthinking does too. I feel like that's where I fall in overthinking, is I like to sit there and inspect every thought. I'm TSA of my own mind. Bro, everything's getting checked. You're not getting through without me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the TSA of my own mind. And that's horrible. Well, I mean, TSA is good. Hold up. TSA is good. But for my own self, that's horrible. Because I'm sitting there, progress is unable to be moved. Progress isn't as quick as it needs to be because I'm inspecting every thought. When some thoughts aren't a threat, some people aren't a threat. You know what I'm saying? Some thoughts aren't a threat and they can be just let through. But no, I gotta inspect everything. You know, so that's what overthinking is for myself. And so this we're gonna focus on two verses, but I'm gonna read Ecclesiastes 11. Verses 1 through 6, and we're going to focus mainly on verses 5 and 6. I'm going to read the whole thing for some context, you know. So starting in verse 1, it says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, or even to 8, for you not know what disaster may happen on earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the way, the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and at evening withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or both alike, or whether both alike will be good." Oh, and I'm also gonna verse 4, 5, and 6. I forgot verse 4, but 4, 5, and 6. I love this book. My favorite book of the Bible. Love it. But I love verse 4. "He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap." I love the clouds a lot. I said it. I wrote something out, but I love the clouds a lot. I love watching the clouds and stuff. But that itself is stagnation. And that's what overthinking can come to, right? I'm looking at the clouds. I'm trying to depict what each of the cloud looks like, what shape it is, like obviously just sitting there observing, and can forget progress in the way that I'm supposed to be moving, in the way that I'm supposed to be walking with the Lord, in the way that I'm supposed to be doing this task. I'm supposed to be writing a journal that's due tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but it causes stagnation to sit and observe everything, to sit and wonder about everything. You see what I'm saying? You can't do anything nothing will come by not doing anything. I know it sounds simple, but action has to be required. And where the pitfall of overthinking and wondering falls into is verse 5. Is as you do not know the way, the Spirit comes to the bones of the womb of a woman with child. Oh my goodness. So you do not know the work of God who makes everything. Trying to understand everything. wondering about this and that. We don't know. We don't know as in how God is going to do this, how's God going to do that, which way. And I think, the biggest thing is it's all caused by fear and anxiety. Obviously, it's a very popular, but anxiety comes from the unknown. It comes from not knowing, comes from uncertainty. It comes from wanting to know each and everything, what works, how this path is going to be made, which direction am I supposed to go. But all we are called to do is just to go and work. It's to not work, but work. But all just to go and do. To go and do. That's all there is to it. The Lord knows our anxiety, so we cast it on him in 1 Peter 5:7. When we give it all to the Lord, when we bring everything we have to him, I feel like in myself, it's like, okay, I got to continue. It's an everyday thing. I got to continue to do that, to not allow myself to overthink. I have to cast all my thoughts onto the Lord to be able to have discernment, to filter out, right? If I'm playing TSA, if I'm playing TSA of my own mind, I got to filter out what's a good thought, what's a bad thought, and giving it to the Lord, giving it all to him to be able to, for he is able to filter it out, not me. I can't do it on my own, And I fall into that so much, and it's hard to do that. We have to trust him. I have to trust him, and being able to know, okay, hey, I ain't got to go down this road if I don't want to. Do I want to choose to? Sometimes I do. But it's like, it's verse 6. This is the real stagnation. In the morning, sow your seed, and at evening, withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike. Oh, that one. Do it. Just go just go and do it. You don't know what's going to come from it. I saw something maybe last week or something, but if you never ask, the answer is always no. Right? I did something. I ran a marathon like 3 weeks ago, right? Really fast marathon. I want to run more marathons, but they're expensive. OKC marathon is one in like $200 to race. It's 170, whatever. It's $200, and I'm like I don't. So I was like, okay, let me try to reach out to like, I don't know, let's just sort of reach out. I want a sponsorship or something. Like, I really want to run, have a good race time. Like, let's see what can happen. If you never ask, the answer is always no. And you have to keep seeing. We'll get to that anyway. But so I reached out. I ran in Mizuno's. I ran my marathon in Mizuno's. Right, love Mizuno's. A good shoe, good race shoe. So I reached out to them. I was like, hey, I ran a marathon in your shoe. Love your shoes. Boom. They were like some other things. We had talked, but at the core foundation of it, they were like, hey, here we'll send you some promotional shoes, some promotional products of our shoes. Send us your address and shoe size. I was like, all right, cool. It's a great blessing, right? And I love it. But it doesn't happen if I was just like, oh man, nothing's gonna happen. Just gonna stay inside. Not gonna sow my seed in the morning. I'm gonna overthink. I'm gonna hold my hands together. I'm not gonna do any work. Just gonna sit in the house. I'm gonna overthink, stare at my window, like in the last video. And then I gotta start buying. Then I gotta buy my own race shoes. But if I ask, right? If you never ask, the answer is always no. My favorite verse is Luke 11:9. It's on the wall, obviously. It says, "And I tell you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened." It's simple commands, but those things are actions. Asking, that's an action. You have to open your mouth. My mom always said, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Seeking, it's an action. You got to go out and explore. You got to see what's out there. If a salesman is at the corner of a street, houses on each side, he will receive a no for every house if he doesn't go. If he just stands at the corner with stagnation, with withholding his hands, when he's not sowing a seed, if he just stands at the corner and overthinks about how each house is going to say no and the different excuses that they're going to come up with to say no, in the way that he's not qualified, in the way that he can't do it, in the way that he's failed in the past, if he sits there and overthinks about each of those things and he doesn't go and ask and he doesn't go and seek and he doesn't knock on each of the doors, the answer will always be no. But in the morning, if he gets up and he says, the Lord is good, always, so I'm going to go out and sow my seed and I'm going to do whatever he's called me to do, then the answer can be yes. Will it always be yes? No. But if he doesn't move, if he stays stagnant, nothing will happen. For you do not, and it's not for us to know, to say, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. Or if I do this, this is going to happen. It's not for us to know. It's about putting trust in God. It's about putting my trust in God and saying, hey, I'm going to just go out and do this. And we're going to see what's happening. I'm going to send that email. And we're going to see what's happening. We're going to see what happens. If you never ask, the answer is always no. If you never ask, if you never seek, if you never knock, you will never know. Another verse I like. Obviously, I love the Bible. Hold up. Don't get me there. Anyway, but James 4:2, right? It says some other stuff, but at the end of this verse, it's a simple. James said it straight. You do not ask. You ask. Wait, no. He says, you do not have because you do not ask. So we stay stagnant and we overthink. I stay stagnant and I overthink because I think about all the ways, all the outcomes that will happen if I do ask instead of just doing the action, right? I'm skipping steps ahead, thinking I know. That's what overthinking is thinking I know everything that's going to happen when the scripture clearly says you do not know. In the last video, I talked about it. Acts 1:7, you do not know the times or seasons the Father has fixed by his authority, by his own authority. He is, I was reading in Colossians. He is the ruler and authority of all. Colossians 2, verse 6 through 8. Is he authority over your life? Do you trust in him fully? Do I trust in him fully to allow this to happen, allow this to happen, for me to do whatever I am to do? And whatever the outcome is, hey, so be it. Oh, that's that's a song. And so be it. Whatever it is, whatever he speaks to, let it happen. In verse 7, light is sweet and it is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. If you stay trapped inside, you can open a window. You can open, my window's open, right? But I can't, even if my window is open, you still can't see the sun depending on the angle of your house. Now, if you got direct line, I'm sorry. But if you don't go outside, you won't see the sun, and it's pleasant for you. If you stay trapped inside all day, stay trapped inside your mind, how will you ever know what can happen or what will happen? By sitting and overthinking. That stagnation, it causes you to be where you are. If I'm on a boat in the middle of the ocean and I don't start rowing somewhere, of course I'm going to be there. If I start thinking, oh my goodness, I'm trapped on this ocean, this water, I'm not going to get out of this. If I start thinking about the ways that I got here in the middle of the ocean, all the mistakes I made, because it was choices I made, all the mistakes I made to get myself stuck in the middle of the ocean, I'm going to stay there. If I continue to think of all the ways that I can't get out, I'm not strong enough to roll myself out of this. I'm not strong. First of all, you can't do it on your own. It's not about us who's strong, right? It's not about me. It's not about me who's strong enough to roll myself out of this, to roll myself out of the middle of the ocean. But it's about God who can do it. But if I start thinking that it can't happen, that it's too far, that the currents is too strong, it's not about the ability to do something. It's about the choice to do it even though you don't have the ability. That's what trust, that's what stepping in obedience is, right? If you think about the before, and if you think about the after, without being in the present and just acting and just doing, you will continue to stay where you are at. If you never ask, The answer is always no. And if you never do, you will never reap. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. Sitting and observing, sitting and questioning is not going to help you reap or sow anything. But sit there and allow you to think of what could be done or what could happen, which still keeps you exactly where you are at. And that's the pitfall of overthinking. That's a pitfall of stagnation.